We're in a season of healthy eating, and what this usually means for us is that we just kind of cut back, eat a little lighter. So we're gonna share in this video some recipes that are healthier and lighter for the summer months. You don't wanna eat heavy. This is cutting back, being veggie forward and veggie focused, and it's also protein packed, which is also easy to do when your garden is busting. We have some zucchinis. Look how huge these are. Our zucchini is dominating the garden right now. We also have some fresh veggies, tomatoes and cucumbers and peppers, which makes that healthy eating a lot easier. So let's get into the video and let me share with you the first recipe with zucchini.
So these are all from our garden, and I'm going to spiralize about half of these. I already started zoodling, and I use my small manual spiralizer. With all this zucchini, I probably should invest in a bigger one. So if you have one you love, let me know in the comments what are your suggestions. But for now, this one works just fine. I'm going to spiralize and just turn the zucchini, and it instantly makes these wonderful zoodles. To help me get the entire zucchini, I do have this little top that goes on it, and it also helps me avoid any finger injuries. I now have a pile of zoodles that will fill my large frying pan, and to that frying pan over medium-high heat, I'm going to add a tablespoon of butter and a tablespoon of olive oil. I will heat that until that butter melts, and then I'm going to add a tablespoon of garlic. I just let that heat through for about 30 seconds, and now I'm ready to add my zoodles. Now I did skip the step where I salt the zoodles and then pat them down so they get nice and dry. I'm just going to cook mine a little more in the pan. If you'd like yours a little more al dente, you might want to do that step to actually get the salt and the moisture out of the zoodles. But I'm just going to heat them a couple extra minutes. I don't mind mine a little softer. I get them all here in the pan, and it doesn't take long for these to heat up at all. Just a few minutes. Just cook them down to the texture that you really enjoy. And now I'm going to add the juice of half a lemon. This is going to add great brightness. I'm just going to stir that in until it just heats real quickly, and then I'm going to add grated Parmesan cheese. This is also going to help absorb some of that moisture, but I'm going to put this in a nice layer all on top, and then I'm going to help it melt by covering the pan with a lid, and it will only take a minute or two until all that cheese is melted. And now our zoodles are done. Everything is super cheesy, and look, it looks just like spaghetti noodles. It is going to be so good. It smells amazing. So we're going to serve this up with what I have on hand.
I have these black Angus beef Italian style meatballs that I had in the freezer. I just went ahead and heated them in the microwave until they were fully cooked, and also I cut them in half so they could stretch so we could all have a little bit. I'm gonna add them to my zucchini. And then for a little extra sauce, I do have this lemon basil pesto that's gonna go really well with everything.
And I'm also gonna add some fresh Roma tomatoes from our garden, just a few of those on top. It's gonna add this great color pop and also that freshness to this dish. But everything is done. It looks so good and it smells amazing. And look at this, it spirals just like pasta, and it was so good. My husband and my son raved about this dish, so I know it's a winner and we'll be making it again.
When cutting back on carbs, one of the major things I crave is bread. So I'm gonna make the fathead bagels that are perfect using almond flour, cream cheese, and some mozzarella cheese with a couple eggs. I already have in here 1 3/4 cup of almond flour. So that's 1 1/3 cup of almond flour. Here's a tablespoon of your baking powder. And then I'm going to just mix that. Now I'm gonna start on my wet ingredients. 2 ounces of cream cheese and 2 1/2 cups of mozzarella cheese. So this whole bag is 2 cups. And another 1/2 cup. I'm gonna go ahead and get this in the microwave for 2 minutes. Our cheese is completely melted. Ooh. And it is still warm, so we're gonna add our almond flour with the baking powder directly into here, as well as 2 eggs.
To get this mixed thoroughly without overbeating, I'm just going to use my hands and get all of that mixed together until I have what looks and appears like a nice soft dough. Then I'm going to divide the dough into 6 sections, and then I'm going to prepare my bagels. Taking one section at a time, I will take the dough and I will start by rolling it into a ball, and then I will stretch and roll it out until it is long enough that I can wrap it around and make it a circle with a hole in the middle, because these are bagels. And I'm going to continue doing that until I have 6 in total. Now I'm going to bake these in my air fryer. I really like them in the air fryer. They come out so much quicker and browned on top. And before I do that, before I put them in that air fryer, I am going to cover them with Everything Bagel Seasoning. And I just pour the seasoning on the plate, and then I take my bagels and then put them on both sides so the seasoning gets on both sides and it sticks really well. Now they're ready to go on my air fryer rack and into my air fryer for 5 minutes at a time, and I switch and alternate the racks every 5 minutes until I get the perfect golden brown color that I'm looking for. And it usually takes in total about 10 to 15 minutes to make sure they look just like this. They are beautiful and they're a little crispy but still soft inside and amazing. They smell amazing, and they're going to be great for breakfast and for also a sandwich that I have in mind that I'm going to whip up next.
Another great refreshing recipe for the summer is of course a salad, but this is going to be a bacon, lettuce, tomato, avocado salad. And then we're going to serve it on our keto bagels, or you could just serve it as a dip. So let's get started. We have our crispy bacon, 3 slices, our head of lettuce that I've chopped, 2 Roma tomatoes chopped, and then 2 avocados that I've diced. So we have all the ingredients for our BLT salad, and we're going to dump it in our bowl. To make this more like a dip, we're gonna add some mayonnaise to our salad mix. About 1/4 cup of mayonnaise. And we're gonna do just a splash of white wine vinegar. Salt. You could double the batch and serve it right out of here with some chips. That would be really good, but I'm gonna serve it on my bagel.
Now for this batch of our keto bagels, I actually made them where I didn't have a hole, so that way all the salad wouldn't fall through. So I actually just made it the same way, same recipe, but just left it where it was more like sandwich bread instead of a bagel, and it turned out perfect. Now this salad makes enough for 4 bagel sandwiches, and they are perfect for a light lunch, and the salad goes great with the Everything Bagel Seasoning. So if you turn this into a dip, you could easily sprinkle that on top, and it just adds that perfect crunch and saltiness. But doesn't this look great? So refreshing, so easy, so delicious. Next up, I'm making a meal that's so easy and light and cooks up quickly in the air fryer.
All right, we're gonna do a sheet pan meal. I have these mahi fillets, but I have the pan here. I'm actually gonna put a bed of spinach on the bottom. I'm gonna sprinkle that with some salt. And we're gonna put our mahi fillets on top. I have these mini multicolored peppers that we're gonna put on top of everything. I have this lemon basil pesto. I'm going to pour that on each of these fillets. Little drizzle of oil on my veggies. And a little more salt on my veggies. Well, there's salt in that pesto, so we don't want to do too much. All right. Into our air fryer on the roast high heat setting for 15 to 20 minutes. I decided to slice up some red onion as well. I love red onions roasted, so I'm gonna add those. All right.
Now it's ready for the air fryer. I'm cooking it at 375 degrees for about 10 minutes, and then I'm going to do 425 for just another 5 to 10 minutes to get all those vegetables nice and soft and roasted. It smells so good. That pesto is a perfect touch. and everything is light and fresh, and the mahi fillets are perfect. But if you don't like fish, you could easily swap it out with chicken tenderloins, or if you want turkey sausages or any other protein you have. It's just a great, easy, perfect meal for the warmer months. Speaking of perfect meal, this is our perfect side dish that we make all summer long, and it is so super easy. We start with the fresh cherry or grape tomatoes that are out of our garden, and I just slice them in half, and I add to the bowl with those, we add the mozzarella pearls. I usually try to get the pearls, but if you just get the little balls and you need to cut them in half, those are fine. Or even I've gotten the mozzarella slices before, or even just the whole mozzarella ball and then just cut it into pieces. But you can also do it with feta cheese as well. Now what I'm doing is I'm taking my basil leaves, which are fresh from the garden, and I just roll them up into like a cigar, and then I slice them into what is called chiffonade ribbons, and I just sprinkle that all on top. And then I'm going to add some olive oil. Now I really like to find high quality olive oil in this, but I like to do a generous drizzle of that, and then some Italian seasoning, and if I don't use that, then definitely just some salt. And then at the last minute, I like to add some balsamic vinegar. Again, a good quality, a thicker balsamic vinegar would be great, but if you just have regular, that's fine. But I do it at the last minute because it does turn your little mozzarella a little darker. But that's all there is to it. Sometimes we add cucumbers if we have extra in our garden, but it is just the perfect fresh summer salad, and it goes so well with everything. It really is the perfect side. And those are just 5 of the lighter meals we are enjoying this summer. We will be doing more as our garden is just getting started. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I look forward to seeing you on those future videos. Be sure to like and subscribe so you get notified.